Welcome inside of Ableton. I am MatteBlack from Out of the Loop. I'm going to be your tutor today. I'm going to teach you some leads and melodies. So it's just a little quick video. I'm not going to show you the entire track. I will do that in parts in different videos just to keep you guys interested. I don't want to bore you too much with really long videos. So I'm going to jump straight in. What you heard there is a track taken from an EP that I have coming out. This is already finished and mastered, mixed and whatnot by myself. This track took me about 3 or 4 days to create and finish. And so I'm going to show you guys the lead, the melody that really makes the track. So I will start we'll go from instruments. So I have this instrument here. This isn't a lead, but it's something that carries the track really well, and it's a little flute thing or a string. That's just like a little atmosphere noise that I have going on. I have this quite a lot in my tracks. It's just important for transitions and things like that. If you hear it it really carries the track. What's important is I have it in the key of C, which is the key that it came in. So I found this loop. I found that sample just off Splice, I think, or I'm not sure where I got it. Probably Splice. And it's in the background, which is also important. I have reverb and delay on it, so it's pushed to the back. It's not really obvious in your face, because you need to really balance those elements. You don't want everything to be as loud as possible. It has to really balance. So that's the little thing in the background I just wanted to show you because it's quite important. And then I have this ARP, which comes in only for a small section of the track. It's just on the bridge. It introduces into the main drop. It sounds like this. Continues like that. So I'll say right now I use a lot of production music live stuff. Their things are great. I vouch for them. I would go on their website, grab some of their stuff. It's really, really good. I've watched a lot of their teachings and masterclasses. They are really good at what they do. And so this is this instrument or synthesizer that I use, Diva. I use a lot on a lot of my sounds. I basically started using it because I saw other people using it that I wanted to replicate. People like Ben Boma, a lot of people in Anjunadeep, they use Diva, so I started using Diva. And that is the case with a lot of the things that I do. If I want to get close to a sound or in any way, I'll think, okay, what are they doing? And then just copy it. And then obviously make it my own. And this is a preset from Production Music Live called Carbonate. It's in there like Deverb preset pack. And I don't know if I moved it around too much, but it's basically two oscillators, both playing a sawtooth, and then they have one of them has a noise oscillator and a sine oscillator, and they are playing at different what's this called keys, I guess. There's a different word for that, but it's escaped me. And then they're mixed in. So you see here, the right side is being played more than the left side, and the left side is being like mixed in. So 'cause that has the white noise in, which is quite a like big sound. I don't want it to be too much. With a slight LFO in place on the oscillators, bit of feedback, and then the cutoff filter slowly automates over time. I build it up over time. There's a little bit of an envelope here, which is just with a short attack and quite not like a mid-range decay, and then the main ADSR is set like this, as you can see. Then there's a little bit of a delay set onto it, and then the arpeggiator, which is obviously the important part. Without the arp, it would probably just play a single note. Yeah. So an arpeggiator is best way to describe it is by playing it. It arpeggiates between the notes that are being played. So it's like rotating through those notes over time, and you can choose the octaves that it goes up in. So it will play those notes, but then play them the octave up on certain ways, and it will play them in order. If you put played, or you can put random. You should have a play around with arpeggiators. They're great. You can get the one in Ableton if you have Ableton arpeggiator. You can just put that on. It will sit here, and then you can play around with that, and I can show you. Yeah, which has the same properties. So that's like the same as played in order, which is what I have on there, and then it's at a rate of 16. What's it, beats per minute? 16. And there's no groove like that, so that would be similar settings to what I have. If I had like that, it's same as that. Okay. Just to show you, so you can use that on many different things. Arpeggiators are really great. Okay, so and then the melody, it's holding the C note pretty much the whole way, and then it's just changed. Like the bass note is changing a little bit, C, A, but these melodies, the keys that it's hitting are in the C major chord. That's why it harmonizes and it sounds good. Otherwise, if I played like this or something that wasn't in key, you would hear it. It would sound bad. Melodies and chords are something that you can you need to learn. You could do some courses, like individual courses that it will take a little bit of time, but once you get it, you're like, okay, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. There's just certain rules in place that make things sound good. I don't really have time to go dive into things really in depthly. I just wanted to show you the melodies that I have in place. So yeah, got that going on, and then we have this, which is just it's just like a stab. It lands a little bit like off. This one lands on, and this one lands a little bit off, or like a little bit early. And that just complements the melody. If I show you, so it's like on the I think it's called the downbeat, or bap bap bap. So it's just complementing that, which is just a really simple sound. It's just a pluck sound. It's on diva again. It's like a short the attack. If I have the attack high, you'll see it. The attack means how quickly the sound comes in or is introduced. So if I have it really slow, it'll be like rather than boop. So it makes it quicker. And then the decay is how quickly the sound declines after it's hit the peak volume. The S is for how long the note is held down for, and then the release is how long the note plays for after you've let go of the key. I hope that was. There's more you can look into that yourself. ADSR it is really simple. You just need to. It's more you need with all these things. You just need to hear what it sounds like. So you play around with something and go, all right, I move that and it does that, and if I move that, it does that, and then you slowly start to get it, rather than somebody just telling you. You need to do it yourself. At least that's the way I learned. So the oscillators there's two of them in play. There is a sawtooth playing, and then all the way with full volume, nothing crazy going on, and then another sawtooth with a octave higher, and it is just playing a little bit of it. So yeah, and then this one's turned down, nothing else is going on with the detune, no noise. It's like a really simple sound, and then the cutoff is not really high. The envelope is, this envelope here is just playing a bit, so it opens up a bit. It's hard to explain, but yeah, envelopes, I suppose this would be an easy way to show you envelopes. This is good. So an envelope is essentially something you're setting up to happen over time. So it's different for how the synthesizer is initially working. So without an envelope, say like the filter will sit, I've got automation going on it, but the filter will be set at what it is. But with an envelope, you can choose it. You can choose the. Wait 1 second. How do I put this back on? Yeah. So straight away it's punching when the note hits, which is just the way that I've set up this envelope. This is a terrible way to describe how to use envelopes. I think maybe look at a tutorial on envelopes. This is with most of these things. You should just dive into them a little bit more. Like somebody will specifically show you, okay, how do envelopes work, and then you get a good idea. What I'm trying to do is just show you how things work cohesively and why I made them and why I use them, which I think is very important. So yeah, that's the little pluck going on. There's obviously some processing. I have EQ, cut out the lows, glue compressor, same with this, cut out the lows, some reverb, more reverb, and automation of the volume over time. 2 side chains going on, side chain to the kick and a side chain to this lead. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, and then this rolling riff. It's a nice little loop I found on, I can't remember where I got that from, but I found it somewhere. It wasn't in time with my track, so I went into it. You can press Control All and then Control I, and it will give you these yellow markers on each transient. So these are transients, like things that stick out. And then I quantize them with Control U or Command U if you're on a Mac. And then I apply the same swing that I have for my beats, for my drums. So, and the swing is something you find in the groove pool, or if you just type groove and then you pick whatever groove you want. But that's a whole nother thing as well. So that's just playing like a nice rolling thing in the background as at the start of the track. It's played for like most of the track, and then it's pushed to the back with some reverb. So it's not too like in your face. I've cut out the low of it, the mid of it. It's just the high. And then we have this, which is almost like the lead as well. But this was originally a very long sample. That was just a small section of it, really long. It like changed over time and whatnot. But when it changed, the melody changed. The key changed quite a bit, and it started to not work with the rest of my track. I did spend a few hours on this, like really trying to use those other elements because it was good material. But then I just ended up sticking with this nice bit, and it rolls over really nice into the track. But the only problem is that it will get boring. I couldn't just have that the whole track. I need to have something to, engage the listener. So with that, there's a bit of processing. It's also pushed a bit to the back with some reverb as well. 2-second delay, quite a big size, but then it's just mixed in a little bit here, so it's not too washed out. And then auto filter, this is just affecting the lows at certain points when I'm trying to bring it in. I'm not sure over here. I'm just trying to introduce it kind of slowly, like certain parts of it. Then there's a little bit of delay. The dry wet's really low, so it's not delaying too much. It's just kind of keeping it rolling. A bit more EQ, and then some compression and more EQ. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. And then this is the main sound. So I wanted to just there's something important that, especially with progressive house, this style. So I'm trying to go for the Anjunadeep style, Ben Boma style, which is why I used like a Ben Boma track for my reference. So it's like it progresses over time, it improves over time. You don't just get every element all at once. It's important to leave some of your weapons, like there's a saying, but yeah, you don't give away all of your tricks basically until you're like later on in the track. So I've introduced this sound just by playing like a single note, like more simple. But as it comes in, it's nice. So you see it complements the other elements. Obviously I played that in myself just on my keyboard with this UD. It's from Native Instruments on Contact. It's just called a OUD. Really nice sound. I took down the reverb and just left it as it is, I think. But it was a bit sharp, so I took away some of the attack on it with a transient designer. Glue compression just to control it a little bit, and some automation going on here with the EQ. But yeah, mainly just taking away the lows on the EQ. Bit of saturation to bring it out a bit, and a little bit more reverb, but pretty low on the mix, so it's not too much. And then fab filter, yeah, it's just, what's this doing? This is like taking away little sharp points in the sound that are maybe not too great for the ears. And then it was a little bit too wide, I think, because of the reverb, so I just put this ozone imager, took down the width a little bit, but it's still wide, but not too much. If I can show you. It's bouncing in between. It's obviously not super mono, but it's got some width to it. That's important to note. If you don't have that, or if I turn that up, you're gonna have phase cancellation. It will sound loud, but if I put the track in mono, you can't even hear it. And obviously that's not good if you're in a club. If you're in a club, then or on any system that's just a mono system, like even like your phone, if you're playing that just out your phone speaker or laptop speakers, you're not even going to hear it. So you see it, you can hear it then, but it doesn't sound as good or big. But that's kind of the compromise. Your tracks should still sound good in mono, but obviously it's not going to have the width stereo present, so it's not going to be as nice to be honest. So yeah, that melody happens, but then this is where it gets good and interesting. So it's playing. It's basically playing like the chord of C. It's a C major chord, but the C is an octave up. It could be down here, but it's too like congested. So I opened it up, and then so it keeps playing that, and then it plays this nice little, and then it will repeat that, but this nice bit at the end is a bit more often. So you see, like I could have just had this bit like every 4 bars or 8 bars, but it would have got you would have been sick of it. It's nice to have things that you're like, oh yeah, and then you kind of wait for it again. Yeah, so that's it. The sound design on that, and then this is just like a piano from Alicia's keys on Contact, which is just just like a nice piano sound. Same processing, but this is completely mono. And that's just in case this one isn't enough, because it is still quite wide. This one is now in mono to maintain that sound, which you can bet you will not be able to hear very well in the mix, but it is there. That's it really. It's pretty simple. I don't actually have much going on with the returns. It's all directly on the channel because I wanted the dry signal to be affected in this case. But returns are a whole another thing to talk about. So another thing that carries this track is the vocal and the use of the vocal, which acts like a lead in a way. It's something that keeps you in the track. If this vocal wasn't here, I think it wouldn't be half as interesting. And the vocal was pretty easy to find. It was just a splice thing, just a little chop of somebody going one day. And I've just put a reverb and delay and to make it sound bigger and longer and stuff like that, because I only use it a little bit. And it just keeps the track going. It's without it, yeah, like I say, it would be pretty stale. But they all work cohesively, because this is in C. It's the key of this vocal is in C. If it was anything else, it wouldn't work. That's really important. If you don't know your scales or melodies or whatever, you just have to make sure that they are in key or at least in the same scale. All right. So I think that will conclude it. I mean, there is automation that I do over time with these melodies, but I can show you that really quickly with here, like this arpeggiator. Where are we? Yeah, I automate the cutoff. I automate the decay, and that's just making the sound change a little bit over time, so it doesn't get stale, which is really important. Like all of your things, you don't want them to get too boring unless it's just a really consistent sound and you don't use too much of it. Like this melody, it doesn't change, but I don't use too much of it. It's only a minute that I use this, so you don't get too sick of it. Yeah, so alright, that will conclude the video. Thank you for tuning in to Out of the Loop. This will be one of our first videos, so please give us some feedback, anything that you wish I had covered. We are going to go into more detail with the other videos on things like EQ, compression, how to arrange a track, workflow, mixing, mastering, anything possible to do with music production to get you guys to a good level where you're comfortable, that you can send your tracks to labels and you're confident. So yeah, thank you guys. Been a pleasure. See you in the next video.